Ever wondered why some people are rich while others struggle financially? It all comes down to financial literacy. This term may sound intimidating, but it's simply about understanding money, how it works, how it grows, and how it can work for you. Being financially literate means having the knowledge to make informed decisions about your finances, leading to financial freedom and prosperity. The book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki is a great start to understanding these concepts. Robert Kiyosaki narrates his learning experiences from two fathers, his own, the poor dad, and his friends, the rich dad. These two individuals, though both fathers, couldn't have been more different in their approach to money and life. The poor dad, a well-educated man with a secure job, believed in the traditional route to success. Go to school, get good grades, find a safe job, and save for retirement. He was risk-averse, always slightly fearful of the future, and his primary financial strategy was to work hard and save whatever was left after meeting all expenses. On the other hand, the rich dad, a successful entrepreneur with little formal education, had a completely different perspective. He believed in learning through experience, taking calculated risks, and building wealth through investments and business ventures. Instead of working for money, he believed in making money work for him. His focus was not on earning a high income, but on accumulating assets that generate income. The poor dad's mindset was dominated by fear and scarcity. He often said, "I can't afford it," shutting down any potential opportunity for financial growth. The rich dad, however, fostered a mindset of abundance and curiosity. Instead of saying, "I can't afford it," he would ask, "How can I afford it?" sparking creativity and opportunity. The poor dad trusted in job security and looked down on making mistakes, seeing them as failures. The rich dad, however, saw job security as a trap and believed that mistakes were opportunities to learn and grow. While the poor dad prioritized saving, the rich dad prioritized investing. The poor dad believed in working for money. The rich dad believed in financial intelligence and creating systems that would make money for him. The contrast between these two dads, financial habits and perspectives, is stark. Yet, it was the rich dad's unconventional wisdom and financial principles that set the foundation for Kiyosaki's success. With this mindset, Kiyosaki was able to build his wealth and achieve financial freedom. And as we delve deeper into the lessons from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, remember, the rich dad's financial principles set the foundation for Kiyosaki's success. The poor dad believes in traditional education, while the rich dad emphasizes financial education. This distinction lays the groundwork for understanding the different paths our two dads take in life. Rich dad understood something fundamental, the power of financial education. He recognized that understanding money, how it works, and how it can work for you is a critical component of financial success. He didn't just earn money, he made his money work for him. He understood investments, assets, and liabilities, not because he learned it in school, but because he took the time to educate himself financially. Now let's take a moment to consider the poor dad. He followed the traditional path of education, focusing on academic excellence and securing a good job. While there's nothing inherently wrong with this approach, it often overlooks a crucial aspect of life, financial literacy. Traditional education provides us with valuable skills and knowledge, but it rarely teaches us how to manage money, invest wisely, or build wealth. This gap in our education system can lead to a cycle of earning and spending without ever really understanding how to grow wealth. It's like trying to navigate through a dense forest without a map. You might stumble upon the right path by chance, but wouldn't it be easier if you had a guide, a compass, or at least some basic understanding of the terrain? And that's where financial education comes in. It's your map in the financial wilderness. It teaches you about the terrain, the best paths to take, and the pitfalls to avoid. It's about understanding the difference between an asset and a liability, knowing how to make money work for you, and realizing that your greatest investment is in yourself and your financial knowledge. And this brings us to our closing thought for this scene. Financial freedom is not about how much money you make, but how much you keep. It's not just about earning more, but also saving, investing, and building wealth wisely. It's about the choices you make with your money, and those choices are greatly influenced by your financial education. So, Invest in your financial education. It could be the most valuable investment you ever make. Understanding the difference between assets and liabilities is fundamental to achieving financial freedom. Let's start with the basics. In the words of Robert Kiyosaki, an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. It's like a diligent worker bee that tirelessly makes honey for you, even while you sleep. Whether it's a rental property, a business, or an investment, an asset is a wealth-building powerhouse that's always on your side. On the other hand, a liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. It's like a hole in your wallet that gets bigger with every paycheck. From car loans to credit card bills, liabilities are financial obligations that keep you tied down. But here's the catch. Not everything you think is an asset is actually an asset. Let's take your house, for example. You might think it's an asset because it's a piece of real estate. But unless it's generating income for you, it's not really an asset. It's a liability because it's taking money out of your pocket through mortgage payments, maintenance costs, and property taxes. So why is this distinction so important? Well, it's simple. The path to financial freedom lies in growing your assets and reducing your liabilities. It's about investing in things that make money for you, not things that cost you money. The more assets you have, the more income you generate. And the more income you generate, the more freedom you have to live the life you want. But here's the thing. Building assets takes time and effort. It's not about getting rich quick. It's about making smart, strategic decisions that pay off in the long run. It's about understanding the difference between wants and needs, between short-term pleasures and long-term gains. In the end, it all boils down to this. The rich buy assets, the poor only have expenses, and the middle class buys liabilities they think are assets. So ask yourself, which category do you want to belong to? It's your choice, and it's your future. Choose wisely. The rich dad's secret to wealth: passive income. Now let's unpack that. What exactly is passive income? It's money you earn with minimal active involvement. It's like having a golden goose laying eggs while you're off doing, well, anything else you'd rather be doing. Now don't get it twisted. It's not about being lazy. It's about being smart. It's about working once and getting paid forever. It's about putting your money to work so you don't have to. That's the magic of passive income. This is how the rich dad built his wealth. He didn't trade hours for dollars. He didn't climb the corporate ladder. He built assets that brought in money, whether he was sleeping, golfing, or sipping margaritas on a beach somewhere. To illustrate, let's consider real estate. The rich dad would buy a property, hire a management company to take care of the day-to-day, and collect rent checks every month. That's passive income. He put in the work up front to purchase and set up the property, and then the cash flow continues with minimal effort on his part. Or consider a book author. They spend months, maybe even years, writing a book. Once that book is published and selling, they continue to earn royalties every time a copy is sold. That's passive income. And in the digital age, the opportunities for passive income have exploded. Think about creating an online course, starting a blog with ads and affiliate marketing, or even creating a popular YouTube channel. The upfront work can be significant, but the potential for ongoing earnings is tremendous. But remember, passive income doesn't mean easy income. It requires upfront work, smart decisions, and a willingness to learn and take risks. But once you've set it up, it can provide a steady stream of income while freeing up your time to build more wealth or simply enjoy life. So, let's take a leaf out of the rich dad's book. Work to learn. Don't work for money. Let your money work for you. Fear and greed can be major obstacles to financial freedom. It's what we do with these feelings that truly defines our path to success. The rich dad in Robert Kiyosaki's seminal work understood this well. He knew that fear and greed are two sides of the same coin, two emotions that can either paralyze us or propel us forward. Let's explore fear first. What is it really but a projection of a future event that may or may not happen? It's an illusion, a mirage in the desert of uncertainty. But the rich dad, he saw through this illusion. He understood that fear is a double-edged sword. On one side, it can keep us stuck in a loop of inaction. On the other, it can serve as a powerful motivator, a catalyst for change. He chose to use fear as a motivator, to push him to take calculated risks to step out of his comfort zone and venture into uncharted territories. And then there's greed. It can be a destructive force, leading us down a path of reckless decisions and eventual ruin. Or it can be a driving force, pushing us to strive for more, to reach for the stars. The rich dad chose the latter. He harnessed his greed, turned it into ambition, into a relentless pursuit of financial freedom. But how does one overcome fear and greed? How does one use them to their advantage? The answer lies in taking calculated risks. Risks that are weighed and measured, not reckless or impulsive. Risks that are taken with a clear understanding of the potential loss and gain. The rich dad knew that in order to win big, he had to risk big. But he never risked blindly. He studied, he learned, he prepared, and when he was ready, he leaped. In conclusion, fear and greed, these two powerful emotions, can be our worst enemies or our greatest allies. It all depends on how we choose to respond to them. So remember the rich dad's wisdom. Don't let the fear of losing money hold you back from the potential to make more. Knowing is not enough. You must take action. And there it is, the crux of financial success. It's not merely about understanding the concepts of financial literacy, but about putting those concepts into practice. This is the lesson that the rich dad in Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad imparted. Think of it this way. Imagine being a skilled chef who's mastered the art of cooking, having a deep understanding of flavors, ingredients, and techniques. But what good is all that knowledge if you never step into the kitchen to cook? The same principle applies to financial literacy. You can understand every financial concept there is, but until you put that knowledge into action, it's as good as useless. The rich dad in Kiyosaki's story didn't just understand financial concepts, he implemented them. He didn't just know the difference between assets and liabilities, he actively invested in assets. He didn't just understand the power of passive income, he built streams of it. His financial success wasn't just a result of his knowledge, but of his actions. Taking action can be daunting, especially when it involves money. It's easy to fall into the trap of analysis paralysis, overthinking every decision until you're too afraid to make any move at all. But the rich dad knew that action, even with the risk of failure, was better than inaction. Failure, after all, can be a great teacher. The rich dad wasn't afraid to fail because he understood that every failure was an opportunity to learn and grow. So how do you put your financial knowledge into action? Start small. Invest in an asset, even if it's a tiny one. Build a stream of passive income, even if it's a small one. Take calculated risks. Learn from your failures. And most importantly, keep going. Keep taking action. Remember, financial literacy is not just about understanding financial concepts, but also about implementing them. It's about using your knowledge to make decisions that will bring you closer to financial success. So don't just learn, do. Because action, not just knowledge, is the key to financial success. Financial literacy is not just about understanding financial concepts, but also about implementing them. In Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki shares valuable financial principles learned from his rich dad. And in this video, we've delved deep into these principles to help you understand the core ideas that Kiyosaki wants to impart. We started with the importance of financial education. The knowledge of how money works is a powerful tool. It's not just about earning money, but understanding how to manage, invest, and grow it. This is the key that separates the financially free from the financially bound. We moved on to the concept of assets and liabilities. Kiyosaki's perspective on these is eye-opening. He defines an asset as something that puts money into your pocket, and a liability as something that takes money out of your pocket. This simple yet profound understanding is a game changer. It's not about how much you earn, but how much you keep, and how many generations you keep it for. Then, we explored the power of passive income. The idea of money working for you instead of you working for money is the foundation of financial freedom. Creating streams of passive income through investments and businesses can lead to true wealth, not just in terms of money, but also the freedom to live life on your own terms. We also discussed overcoming fear and taking risks. Fear of losing money often holds us back from making the financial decisions that could lead to our wealth. Kiyosaki's rich dad taught him that failure is integral to learning. It's not about avoiding risks, it's about learning to manage them. Lastly, we touched on the importance of action. Knowledge is potential power, but without action, it's useless. The willingness to act, to apply what you've learned, to make mistakes, and learn from them is what sets successful people apart. In closing, we return to the essence of Kiyosaki's message. The path to financial freedom is not easy, but with the right mindset and financial knowledge, it is possible. Remember, the best investment you can make is in your own financial education. These principles from Rich Dad Poor Dad are not just about acquiring wealth, they're about acquiring wisdom. They're not just applicable to finance, but to life. And they're not just for the rich, but for anyone who desires a life of freedom and abundance.